Hello, everybody. I hope you are having a wonderful day today. It is really, really cold here in Florida. I'm like freezing. I cannot feel my fingers. They're numb. My fingers are numb. I have the heater on here in the shed, but I didn't turn it on before I came out here. So this week in North Florida, we've been getting in like the low 30s and high 20s for our lows. So it's been super cold. So enough about the weather. I hope you're staying warm wherever you are. If it's cold, stay inside. Stay by the fire, have a toasty drink and some soup. So today I am going to go over what's sold with you. This is going to be bread and butter stuff only. So like that $15 to $45, $50 mark. This is stuff that you will find more commonly when you are outsourcing at garage sales, thrift stores, wherever you might go. And some of this does take a little bit longer, but there are a lot of these in here that did not take very long to sell. So if you have a limited space, I would really pay attention to how long I'm saying something took to sell, because if it takes a long time and you don't have much space, that's something you want to stay away from. But if I tell you it sold in a month or a couple of months, that's something that you might want to look for more things like that. So I'm going to show you the back door so you can see our sales graphic. Sales are down this week. It is just after the holidays, so that's not totally unexpected. And then we're going to take a look at some of what sold on eBay, Poshmark, as well as Mercari. All right, we're going to go ahead and jump into the back of my eBay store. And not a lot of you, but a few of you have commented, like, the chart is misleading. It doesn't show the fees. It doesn't show taxes. That is something that's going to be different for everyone. And yes, even the fees, because I promote my listings and you might not. So even telling you my fees is not really going to help you. You need to learn what your fees are, as well as taxes. My overhead might be more than yours is. I do have employees. Same thing. Like, it's comparing apples to oranges, and I don't see the benefit of telling you. Plus, it would make it a really long, boring video. So could it be misleading? Yes, but I do tell you the profit on each item, and that is before taxes. That is before I pay my taxes. But again, not an easy thing to calculate and would make for a boring video. So I've talked enough. All right. So now you can see sales are pretty sad here. Today we're at $108. I'm recording this at 10:45 in the morning. For the week, we are at $2,390. For the month, we are at $15,000. My goal is at least $20,000 a month, just to give you an idea. So we are down on that. And then the last 90 days, we're at $45,000. So we're down. I haven't been listing a ton. I haven't been sourcing a ton, trying to kind of get things back in order around here. So hopefully that'll pick up soon. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the items that sold over that last week to make up the 2,300. It is not all of them, but just some highlights. And then we'll look at a few from Poshmark and Mercari as well. All right, so it looks like eBay got some crazy new thing, and now the picture blows up in front of like the title, which is kind of weird. But this first item is one that was listed back in July, so it took about 6 months to sell. It is a Starbucks Niagara Falls You Are Here mug. This one sold for $24.99. I only paid $2 for it at the thrift store. It's about an $18 profit. And we'll take a look here at the photos. There are some Starbucks You Are Here mugs that are rare. So think of countries other than the US that people might not get to frequent often, as well as anything out of the ordinary. Like your Disney ones are going to be worth more, stuff like that. Definitely look them up. I would pass on the majority of them because I want them all to be at least at this $25 mark. Next up was a super fast sale. So this is a stacked art glass squares 7-inch cactus figurine. This one sold in just 2 days. It sold for $29.99. I got this in a lot. I am not much into it. Less than $5 for sure. So it's about a $20 to $22 profit. Super, super fast sale. And I think I might have showed a couple of these last week. I couldn't remember if I did or not. So I want to make sure to show you, because I feel like I've come across these at the thrift store quite a few times and I passed them up. So from now on, I will take a look a little bit closer. Next up is one that really did not take a long time to sell. It took 4 months, and I almost wish I would have kept this one because it's really cool. This is a Malawi vegan leather wallet with an octopus, coral. I did put nautical sea green and blue. It was new with the tags. This one sold for $29.99. And again, 4 months, a wallet's not big. It doesn't take up a bunch of space. So this is something I would pick up. You can see here that $42.99 tag, the Malawi, and really, really neat little nautical wallet. You can see the coral and the octopus there on the back. And definitely when you have stuff that's vegan leather, that is something I would put in the title because I do feel like that's something that would be searched. And you want to make sure to put all those searchable words in your titles. So fast sale, and this one I got in a luxury lot, so I don't have my exact buy cost in, unfortunately. Next up, and there's actually going to be a couple of these. This is a belt, not Brighton belt, but I'm really glad I got these belts sold. And this one has not been listed overly long. This one was listed back in October, so it took 2 months to sell. And again, a belt is not a big thing. So I picked this up at the thrift store, only paid $2. So this one is about an $18 profit. And you can see here Onyx by Brighton. I know Brighton stuff sells well. So Brighton jewelry as well as Brighton purses have done really well for me. So I figured the belt might as well, and it did. So here you can see the measurements of it, and it is a good size. It's a 40-42, and you can see the golfer there. And great, great sale, 2 months and $20 profit. Next up is a pretty cool, this is a little vintage wooden trinket box. This one was listed back in August, so about 4 months to sell. I did accept a best offer of $25. Sales have been a little bit slower, so I will bend a little bit with what I'm willing to take. This one I got in an online auction lot for less than $5, so it's about a $15 profit after the fees. Not big, but if you see here, this is a really small box. It's 5 inches by 3 inches, so $25 price. This is one that I couldn't really find comps on, so I just kind of threw a price on it. So that's another reason too why I took that $25 offer. Sometimes you price things higher, and if they've been sitting there a few months and you get an offer that's reasonable, you might want to take it. Next up is another belt, and this is one I didn't know. This one is Meslin, and I'm going to show you why I picked it up. I did get this one at the thrift store as well. This one sold for a best offer of $39.99, and I only paid $2 at the thrift store. So let me show you here. And so it's going to be, this one's over a $30 profit. This is what I saw, that made in Spain. And there's a Meslin. I just simply Googled it real quick, saw that it was not like a made in China or anything. And turned out Meslin was really, really good. And I didn't realize how valuable it was when I picked it up, but this one was a really, really good sale. And this one took right at 4 to 5 months. And it's one me and the buyer kind of went back and forth on, and that's because it was only listed in October. So when stuff's been listed less than 3 months, I really only want to take 10% off, which is $31.50. They kept offering me like 25, 27. I'm like, no, I'm not willing to go down that far. Finally, they offered me 30, and I'm like, okay, it's $1.50 away. I'm going to take it, right? Like, I'm just going to take it. And I did. And I got this at the thrift store for only $1. So, I mean, it's still a $25 profit. Sold really fast. If you ever see these satin jackets, they definitely are worth picking up. And this one's a blank. But if you find them with sports teams and things like that, those typically are quite a bit more valuable. Next up is another of the Pokemon. So if you don't know the story about this, these were my ex-husband's. They were left at my house and I'm selling them. So this is a Pokemon TCG Evolving Skies booster pack. And this one was new sealed, sold for $29.99. That was actually the second one of ours that sold. So for me, this is just throwing some money back in my pocket. I would keep an eye out though, especially if you see sealed Pokemon and they are reasonable price. All of the Pokemon stuff has been selling very, very fast for me. Next up is an example of what you do not buy if you do not have a lot of space. This one took a year to sell. This is a lady's straw hat with a big red bow. It was just a non-branded, but it came in an auction lot. I'm less than $1 in. It took forever to sell. It took so long. It was here a long time, and this one doesn't squish, so it does take up a decent amount of space. This one sold for $22 to Miss Brenda. So thank you for giving it a new home. I hope you like it. It's super cute hat, but I think it wasn't branded, so it took forever. And here you can see the photographs. It's perfect condition. It's an absolutely gorgeous hat. It was just unbranded, so I don't think anybody was able to find it. Next up was a very, very fast sale. So the jewelry stuff that like Southwestern stuff does really, really well for me, or if it's named, that's something really good if you don't have a lot of space. So this is a Navajo bear paw sterling silver keychain or key ring. And this one sold in under a month for $29.99. It is a really, really neat piece. You can see the sterling, there's the measurement, and great sale really fast. So definitely keep your eye out. I will tell you the majority of my sterling I typically get off of online estate auctions. Next up is another mid-range one. This one took 6 months to sell. I am okay with 6 months because I do have quite a bit of storage space. And this one sold in the 6 months. It sold for a best offer of $40. This one I actually got in a lot that I bought out from somebody, and I was less than $1 in per item. So this one is about a $34 profit. And really, really neat piece. This is another non-branded though. So you can see I put nautical beach themed. I put sea blue, enamel, nickel. That's where when you have unbranded items, you need to keyword them well so people can find them. So here you can see this was a gorgeous enameled bowl. It was Two's Company. I did not put that in my title because that is not a brand that is popular or searched. And so if the brand's not popular, not going to be searched, I'm going to use that title space to put in more keywords. Next up, it is crazy to believe, but we've had the lace for a year. Absolutely insane. It feels like it was just a couple months ago, but this was listed in January last year. So you can see I put vintage lot of lingerie floral lace trim. So some of the lace sold fast, but a lot of it has taken longer. So this is probably something I would stay away from if you don't have a lot of space. Again, these rolls do take up room, but this one sold for $24.49, sold for full price. And again, took a year. I'm less than $1 in. It is a $20 profit. Next up is another one that took a long time to sell. It took almost 2 years. I thought this was so neat. I thought it would sell fast, which goes to show you have to be very careful when you think stuff is cute if you cannot find any sold items or items that are like it. So this one is a vintage frog band, hand-painted whistle or flute. Again, not branded and kind of hard to keyword where people could find it. So it took a long, long time. It sold for a best offer of $30. And I love this piece. It is so neat. It is so unique. You can see there it is signed. And it's cool. I've played it. It was made in Peru. Really, really neat piece. I probably would pick this up again. I'm not going to lie to you because it is just too cool. Next up is another one that took a really, really long time to sell. This is a vintage yellow gold bracelet. It was 14 karat gold filled, but this one took over 2 years to sell. So, but again, it's jewelry. So I think with the jewelry, it's not as big of a deal. So this one sold for $27. I might have had this overpriced. That might have been why it took so long. And here you can see that crab, Harbor Place, Maryland. And I do have that in the title, the 14 karat gold filled. If you haven't been watching me a long time, when I got this crab stuff, I made thousands and thousands of dollars off of it because I had like Christian Dior, I had Joseph of New York. I had like really high name brands and I made thousands of dollars off of this crab jewelry. But there are still a few pieces that are hanging around, and this one is over a $20 profit. Next up is another mid-range. This one took 8 months to sell. This is a knit wool purse, bamboo handle, beaded. I'd put flower vintage boho kitsch handbag. Sold for a best offer of $17. I got this at the thrift store for $2, so it's about a $14 profit. Not horrible, but really, really cute. It is a smaller little handbag. And this is something I probably would pick up again. Again, it's really nice for me because I do have the storage space. I can pick up some of those items that do take a little bit longer to sell. Next up is another super long tail one. This one is a scarf. So for me, the scarves either sell right away really fast or they take forever, which is exactly what happened with this one. This one took almost 2 years to sell, and it is super cool. It sold for $20.99. So I sent out a half off offer. So this might come back to, I might have priced this a little too high, and that's what happens. When you can't find the exact item though, it's really hard to know. So I sent out that half off offer. I got it only for $1, so it's about a $15 profit. And I'm happy it's gone. And scarves, when they're folded up, don't take up a bunch of space, and they're really, really easy to ship. I must have had like a year-long scarf bonanza. This is another one that was listed for a year. This is a vintage paisley scarf or shawl, and really, really pretty. This one is floral pashmina. It was 100% cashmere, and it sold for full price. But again, it took a year. So you can see the pashmina, the cashmere. This is something you would think that it would sell pretty fast. And honestly, I should have used this picture here as my front picture. I think it looks a little more attractive in that one. But, you know, live and learn, and that's all we can do. So it took a year to sell, but this one is close to a $30 profit. All right, last up for eBay before we jump over to Poshmark and Mercari. This is a Pokemon trading card game. It does say treasure chest 10, collectible, factory sealed. And this one was listed less than a month and sold for full price. So Pokemon is not something you're going to, well, at least not where I'm at. I don't find it regular. And if I do find it, it's not at a price where I can make profit. And I just happen to have these in my house. If you're in more metropolitan areas or bigger cities, you might find it. I am in a very rural location, so I just don't see it. So $49.99 sales price and sold in under a month. Keep an eye out for sealed Pokemon because they definitely will sell, and they will sell fast. All right, starting over on Poshmark is this really neat Irish Dresden porcelain Christmas geese. I did put holly garland, goose or ducks. These are another long tail one. They took over a year to sell. Sold for $45. Payout was $36. I paid $5, so these are about a $30 profit. And you can see them here, and I'm surprised they actually sold after Christmas. I would have thought they would have sold before because they would be perfect to put out as a little Christmas decoration. And I didn't expect them to take a year to sell, but that's going to happen sometimes. Things are not going to sell as fast as you want them to, but that's just part of being a reseller and part of our business. Another Pokemon, and I put this because I want you to know that Pokemon will sell everywhere. It will sell on eBay, it will sell on Poshmark, it will sell on Mercari. Cross-post if you're not cross-posting. I might do us a new cross-posting video maybe within the next couple weeks. So here you can see the pictures we take of the Pokemon card. This is the same thing. This was my ex-husband's. It was in the house. I don't know what was originally paid for it, but it is about a $18 payout coming back into my pocket. Look, we are having all of the octopus things. We sold the octopus wallet. This Dream Pets octopus sold in under a week. This was a really fast sale. I got it in a plush lot from an online estate auction. It is about a $13 profit. Super, super cute one. And the sell-through rate actually was not that great for this on eBay, but this one sold on Poshmark in under a week. So a lot of times things that don't sell well on one platform will sell very well on another. This one is a bit crazy. This is actually cardboard, and it sold for $38. The payout was actually $30 on this, and it's cardboard on a little bag. But I did put shopping bag, and we put ornament, so maybe somebody would get this as like a gift tag or something like that. Really, really cute little heart and great sale. And this one is actually all profit because Rod gave me a bunch of bags, so I didn't pay anything, and payout was $30. Next up, this one wasn't that big of a payout. It was only a $12 payout, but this is a dollar thrift store find. So $1 into 12, that's not bad. 12 times your money. This is a Jansen vintage sweater, size extra large. It took only a few months to sell. You can see there were some stains on this one. So that's why I priced it so low, because it did have flaws, and you definitely have to take it into account. I wouldn't necessarily throw things away that have small stains or spots. If you like, if I can make $15 on this, I would rather do that than just throw it away. Last up for Posh before we move over to a few from Mercari. This is a Sports Afield vintage shirt. This is another one, same thing, $1 into 12. And the Sports Afield isn't a great brand, but for $1, you know, why not? If I'm already there, I'm going to pick it up. And it is a vintage, or a vinted, I cannot talk today. It is a vinted fishing shirt. But again, like if you want a higher sales price, this is something I would skip, and I would probably just get the Columbia brand ones that are extra large or bigger. All right, let's roll over to Mercari, and starting tomorrow, Mercari goes back to charging the seller fees. So it'll be interesting to see if sales start increasing on Mercari again. And this one's a David Yurman bag. This is another one I got from Rod Free. So that $20 payout is a $20 profit. There are no fees on Mercari as of today. Tomorrow there will be, but these that you're seeing now did not have any fees. And this one only took 2 months to sell. Next on Mercari is a floral table runner. This one's a $12 payout, but it's another one, $1 into 12. You know, if you add up all these $10 profits, they are not horrible. So this one was listed just in November. Really, really pretty. There were some spots you can see here. And that's, again, this is another one. It's priced low because of flaws that were in it, but it is still a $11 profit after my buy cost. Last item for the day, and this was a super fast sale. This one is 64 greatest Motown hits. It is a record. Sold for $44 in 2 days. Super, super fast. And I paid about $5, so this one's a $39 profit. I don't do a ton with records, but there was a big lot on an estate auction I was bidding on. I figured I would give it a try, and I'll tell you that comping them really frustrated me, so I'll probably stay away from records from now on. All right, that was everything. I hope you enjoyed seeing some bread and butter sales. I really do appreciate you watching. I hope the beginning of your new year is going well. I've not really been great about like my goals and really looking at them and diving into them. I need to do that before it's already February. That's what's going to happen. I need to do that. So I'm going to work on that some this week. I appreciate you watching, and I will see you on the next one.